Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Replay, the ultimate video game replay podcast. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
We got mitochondria, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that about sums it up. This week, we're talking about Parasite Eve 2 from September 12th of the year 2000. But Skyler, you know, as always, before we can talk about the game, we got to go back to the day it came out. Are you ready?
It's time to rewind for the replay.
Whoa! Oh my God, Skyler.
That one was more intense. It's because I went back to 2000 and I got this Coca-Cola. Hang on, let me open it.
That's a joke that's going to make a lot more sense to people in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, Coca-Cola. All right, let's go. What's going on?
In the world today, this is what is happening. Back on September 2nd, Blink-182 put out a single called Man Overboard. It's an incredibly popular single from them.
Okay.
On the 12th, Bare Naked Ladies put out their 5th studio album called Maroon, which features the song Pinch Me, which is, I think, my favorite song of theirs.
I want to look it up. Oh, I know this song. It's the perfect time of year. Yeah. I know this one.
Also today, the Presidents of the United States, the band, not the guy, released their 3rd studio album called Freaked Out and Small. Back on the 7th was the 17th MTV Music Video Awards.
Okay.
It was hosted by Marlon and Sean Wayans.
The Wayans. The white chicks themselves.
As if we couldn't get any more 2000er, here are the Wayans brothers. It is at Radio City Music Hall, and there are a couple of pretty funny things that happened at it. Number one, Britney Spears had performed Oops, I Did It Again, and it was both one of the most iconic things to ever happen at the VMAs, and also one of the most controversial, because she came in wearing like a pantsuit, and then she stripped it off and was wearing like skin-colored stuff underneath, and everyone was really uncomfortable about that in the year 2000. But in the year 2026...
They need to get on our level. They need to catch up, because that's timid.
In the year 2026, that is pedestrian. People are walking down the street like that. So honestly, the more I look into Britney Spears and the way she was treated, I'm with the leave Britney alone guy. I
mean, South Park hit the nail on the head, didn't they?
Like, deadass, she's just doing music. You know what I mean? DMX was supposed to perform, but then he just didn't show up. So Nelly performed instead.
That's awesome. What an awesome thing to do. Rest in peace, DMX.
Eminem showed up with an army of Slim Shadys. I think this is one of his most iconic moments. He was performing Real Slim Shady. And he started outside of the building with straight up, had to have been pushing 100 people just dressed like him. So the gray sweatpants, white shirt, buzzed head with the bleached little ends. And he walks in and he's singing the whole thing, and they're censoring every other word. And I just have to imagine, because of the lyrics of the song, before this performance started, somebody in the the like tape delay has to hit the mute button, was having a conversation with their boss and asked, "Do we have to censor clitoris?
Ooh.
Do we have to
censor clitoris?
We don't in 2026. They did in 2000.
I don't think you have to censor it, because people can't bloody find it anyways. Am I right?
That's what the lyric is.
Okay.
He said, it's the opposite, actually. It's they've got Discovery Channel, don't they? Like, of course they'll know where the clitoris is. I don't remember exactly.
Oh yeah, from
Tim Comerford from Rage Against the Machines,
yes.
After losing Best Rock Video to Limp Bizkit, threw a fit.
It doesn't feel right.
Threw a fit and started climbing part of the set, and then refused to come down. So they had to cut to commercial while the police arrested him and charged him with disorderly conduct.
Now I'm trying to think, because I love Rage Against the Machine. I also do enjoy me some Limp Bizkit, so I'm a fence sitter on this one.
A little bit of Bizkit.
But is it fitting in the Rage Against the Machine, like anti-political, well, anti-government stance, anarchy, whatever, is throwing a tantrum and climbing a thing and refusing to come down, is that in fitting with their gimmick, or is that kill the mystique a little bit?
If he had like been yelling and flipping people off, that would fit. Yeah, climbing the shit and getting arrested, like that's just baby shit. Like that's bad. That's lame, actually.
Eh,
But hey,
eh.
Christina Aguilera would later perform "Come On Over, Baby," and there was a surprise appearance that everyone thinks was thrown in because of this, where Fred Durst came out to just hang out during the performance. It wasn't scripted. They just everyone just assumes Christina Aguilera was like, "That was funny. You should come out on stage again."
And Fred Durst had beef with Eminem. I don't know if it was now, but it happened.
And Eminem had beef with Christina Aguilera.
Oh my God! All of these people hate each other.
Everyone hates each
They
other.
all hate each other.
This was the last MTV Music Video Award appearance from both Whitney Houston and Aaliyah, because of course Aaliyah died the next year, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
and Whitney Houston also did not show back up again until her death. But her death didn't come for 11 years. She just didn't come back. She just didn't want to go, I guess.
Didn't have to. Yeah, you don't need to.
She's Whitney Houston. She doesn't need this shit. Slim Shady Eminem, he won Video of the Year and Best Male Video. Best Woman went to Aaliyah in her last appearance. Good way to go out, I guess. Best Group went to Blink-182 for All the Small Things. Best Pop went to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. Best Rock was, as we said, Limp Bizkit for Break Stuff. And Best Hip Hop Video went to Cisco's
Break
Thong
Stuff?
Song. Yeah, Break Stuff.
Break Stuff is pretty good. Cisco, all right.
Yeah, hell yeah. To cap off the music section, the Billboard Top 5 looked like this. Number 1 was Music by Madonna. It's I just think it's a funny one. I just think it's funny to say that it's just music. I mean, the song called music. It's I assume you know the song.
I don't by the name. I know Madonna, but I don't know this one.
It's the one that goes, music.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. Number 2 is Doesn't Really Matter by Janet. Number 3, we're getting back into the ones who have been here for a while. Number 3 is Jumpin' Jumpin' by Destiny's Child. Number 4, Bent by Matchbox 20. Number 5, Incomplete by Cisco. And number 6, put it on here just because I liked what song it was, Kryptonite by Three Doors Down.
I do like that song.
It's a good one. In the world of film and television, on the 4th, the animated series for Clifford the Big Red Dog premiered.
Oh, cool, Clifford.
I feel like I catch random episodes of that as a kid, just time to time.
Definitely didn't watch it, follow it for. I don't know what the plot of the first season was.
She got a big dog. She got to figure out.
Oh yeah, that would do it. That would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. On the 9th was the premiere of Jackie Chan Adventures.
Now we're talking.
A show. Famously, I thought you didn't like this show.
No. When did that ever come up?
I seem to remember you saying in the past that you were not a big Jackie Chan Adventures guy.
That doesn't sound like me. I mean, to say I'm not a big Jackie Chan Adventure, it was, it wasn't my go-to, but right. Jackie Chan was cool back in the day.
Okay. But you also don't like Rush Hour.
I don't remember shit. Well, that's because it was directed by a alleged. We're not gonna.
That's most directors back then. That's like all of them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, Jackie Chan's cool.
Well,
I mean, he might not be. I think some people say he's an asshole. But
he's probably an asshole.
I wasn't there.
I hope he's fine. I hope it doesn't turn out to be a Cosby thing. Hope he dies before we find out. On the 10th was the 52nd Emmys. That's right, a second award show.
Wow, more awards.
Best comedy went to Will and Grace. Best drama.
Oh yeah, that was big back in the day.
Went to The West Wing.
Oh yeah.
Best comedy actor went to Michael J. Fox in Spin City. I didn't know he did TV, but he did a lot of TV actually. I just never watched.
Oh, I mean, it's where he started back in the 80s.
Yeah,
but I didn't know he was still doing it back in 2000.
Best comedy actress went to Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond. That's the wife. Best drama actor, James Gandolfini for The Sopranos.
Oh, woke up this morning, got yourself a gun.
And then best drama actress went to Sella Ward for Once and Again, a show that I'm not familiar with. But just to put a bow on which shows were important at the time, both of the best supporting comedy, man and woman, went to people from Will and Grace, Sean Hayes and Megan Mullally, and both of the supporting drama roles went to people from The West Wing in Richard Schiff and Allison Janney. So
Allison Janney. We like Allison Janney. She's good.
Pretty much cleaned up that one. The box office looks like this. Number 1 in the movie theaters is The Watcher from Universal. Are you familiar with this movie?
No.
It is about...
Who's in it?
James Spader is like an FBI agent tracking down a serial killer who is played by Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
He strangles women with piano wire, I think. And it also features the acting talents of one Marissa Tomei and Ernie Hudson.
Oh, man. 28% on Rotten Tomatoes.
With that cast, you wouldn't think possible, but here we are. Number 2 in the box office is Nurse Betty from USA Films. It's a comedy in which Renee Zellweger has fallen in love with the star of a soap opera. And for some reason, Morgan Freeman and Chris Rock are trying to murder her.
Okay.
So, okay. Number 3 is, we're at the movies we've talked about before. Number 3 is Bring It On by Universal, starring Kirsten Dunst and Eliza Dushku. Number 4 is What Lies Beneath from DreamWorks. That's the Harrison Ford one where his ghost ex-girlfriend is trying to kill his wife.
Sure.
And number 5, we haven't talked about this one, but it's Highlander Endgame from Miramax, which is presumably the one where the Highlander fights Thanos.
Oh, I like that. No, I don't know. We need to find out where in the Highlander chronology that one was. Is it 3? Is that 4?
It's got to be later because the plot is that he's teaming up with a different guy to fight a bigger guy, which I feel like doesn't happen in the first couple. You have to set up these complicated lore of Highlander.
Okay, so Highlander 2, The Quickening, okay. Highlander 3, The Sorcerer, then Highlander Endgame. It's the 4th one.
Okay. Not bad.
Followed by Highlander, The Search for Vengeance in 2007. And it says here, a to-be-announced new Highlander movie.
Oh my god. There's more. But
upcoming.
Wait.
Oh yeah, more. Henry Cavill. Remember Henry Cavill's going to be he's going to be in it. I don't know if it's a remake.
Couldn't tell you.
This doesn't matter.
No. In the world of sport. Right. In the world of sport on the 9th. At the U.S. Open, Venus Williams wins her first ever title.
Heck yeah.
And then presumably her dad, Will Smith, gets like really drunk, or I don't know. I didn't see the movie.
No, was he an alcoholic? No, he wasn't an alcoholic.
He was just really sweaty in all the clips I saw.
He pushed them really far and was very pushy about getting them into places.
That sounds about
right. And John Bernthal was a coach, and then a guy offered him money, and then he farted.
Huh?
Like he farted at the offer of money, but it was like a really stock sound effect. That's a good movie. It's got a really weird stock sound effect fart in it. I don't know how to explain.
Okay.
Go on. We're done with King Richard. What else?
On the 1st, Gathering Blue, the sequel to the Giver novel, was released. And on the 10th, Cats, the musical, ended its 18-year run on Broadway.
Wow.
That's right. Jackie Chan Adventures is in and Cats is out. It's September of the year 2000, Skyler.
Jackie Chan's in, Cats is out.
But most importantly,
the year 2000.
Most importantly, we got the American release of Parasite Eve 2, the sequel to a game we've just talked about.
The long-awaited sequel.
Yeah,
the first one came out
98.
I don't even remember.
98. Yeah, well, because sequels didn't take that long to come out back then because we weren't spending $4 million and killing people to get them out the door. So, it didn't take as long. The description reads as follows. 3 years have passed in Aya Brea, now with a newly formed FBI division called MIST, the Mitochondrion Investigations and Suppression Team, has tracked the last of the neo-mitochondrion creatures to the Mojave Desert, where she is about to discover a terrible new secret. Ooh. Skyler, I've spoken enough. What are your top-level thoughts on Parasite Eve 2, Mitochondrion Boogaloo?
I don't know. What do you mean? What are my top-level thoughts? This game this game took away my ability to have top level thoughts. I don't have thoughts anymore.
That's kind of fair.
It's not the most confusing, convoluted game out there in existence, as what I just said might imply. I'm sure you could follow the story, and I'm sure you did follow the story as we played this together.
It wasn't easy, but I did.
I didn't on this one. I did for the first one, because that one was just, there's this spooky lady.
Pretty straightforward. Get the lady.
And
yeah.
You gotta follow her, and then she's melting people, and then she's gonna do stuff with the mitochondria, and there's lots of mitochondria. This one was this monster. I'm gonna be real. I didn't try with this one. This my review is not gonna reflect the story.
Okay, that's fair.
Of this, it's just gonna reflect the gameplay and the setting, and the designs of the monsters, and the Coca-Cola.
And the Coca-Cola. Yeah, to bring that back, this game has a really high amount of Coca-Cola product placement. In particular, in the there's a very lengthy section in the Mojave Desert, called in an area called Dry Fields, and it just feels like every fucking thing in Dry Fields is a Coca-Cola reference. And I tried so hard to look up like why that had happened. I didn't know if they had like some existing long-term partnership, Square and Coca-Cola. From what I can tell, it kind of just seems like they were like, we're in America but we're not in as iconic a place as New York. What's an American thing? A nice cold Coca-Cola. They just put that shit fucking everywhere.
And they were right. They were right to do so. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
every time a Coca-Cola popped up, we were like, "Hey!"
There's. I didn't actually think it was. It's not one of my negatives of the game. I'll put it that way. The product placement in it was just kind of like there. A lot of it was in the background. There was like one bit where you have to use a magnet to move a key, and the magnet has Coca-Cola. It's like a bottle cap, Coca-Cola on the top of it. And otherwise, it's just like, oh, we're in this bar, and there's a Coca-Cola poster in the background, or like whatever, you know?
Yeah,
it was diegetic in a way that made sense.
There's a vast difference between these Japanese developers, presumably, this is just what we're assuming.
Yeah.
It was like, Coca-Cola is very American, put Coke posters and machines and Coke cans all over the place, and you can pick up Coke cans, whatever. Sure, it's weird, sure, but whatever. There's a difference between that and what Death Stranding did with Monster Energy drink, where what even... was it like a health item? You drank the monster?
It was, but more so it was just very prominently featured in a lot of cutscenes.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That one feels...
It got patched out eventually.
Well, because they had to.
Probably.
They replaced it with, I don't know, piss water.
I think it was just a generic energy drink with like the Ludens guy on it, the studio mascot. I'll just, let's get this one out the door. I think this game is worse than the first one. I think that's going to be what a lot of this conversation is how it just doesn't really stack up to the first one.
Okay. I keep flipping back and forth on that.
Okay. Well, you didn't like the first one as much as I did, so that's probably fair.
That's true, but I was still positive on it, wasn't I? What did I?
You were positive on it. You were for sure. Yeah.
What did I score?
I think you gave it like a 7.
Oh, I gave it a 6. Fucking hated that game.
Oh, I hated that game.
No, I would stand by that. Our final score was a 7.
Oh, that must be what I was thinking.
Yeah. There's parts of this where I feel like cinematically, like, ooh, this is cool. The camera moves in a certain way sometimes. Not often, actually. Like, really just at the beginning, huh?
The opening section
yeah.
is really...
Now that I think about it.
The opening section, the Acropolis Tower portion of this game, is better than most, if not everything, in the first game as well. I think the Acropolis Tower entire portion is great. And then everything else is so much worse. Like a lot worse.
I would agree with that. Because just the amount of like back and forth traveling, we were stuck in Dryfield forever. And then we had to do Dryfield at night forever.
Not even like we were particularly lost, not any more than we were in the first game, at least. It was just like there's so much just wandering back and forth that's necessary. Like, there's a bit where you like come up to one of the hotel rooms. There's like a motel in this area that you're fucking around in, and there's a lady doing stock screams noises from the other, which was fucking annoying as hell, from the other side of a door, and you can't get through the door, so you have to whatever. You need a tool, and I don't remember, but presumably smarter people would, that there were tools back in the garage, so you have to go to the garage to get the tool. But then when you try to pick up the tool, even though you're an FBI agent investigating people getting murdered, you're not allowed to just take the tool. You have to go ask the guy who owns the tools whether or not that's okay. So then you have to go to the other side of the map and talk to this old guy with a peg legs, and so that he can be like, yeah, man, is someone dying? Like, and then 30 minutes later, you make it back to where the lady's screaming, and she's still screaming, like she's having a rough day. But it takes so long. It takes so long.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that.
Faffing about.
Just going back and forth. Oh, I got to move this bridge so I can do this thing. I got to walk to the other side of the map and step on some fucking buttons, and then it'll move, and then I can walk again 7 different rooms away. It's just so much just backtracking. Like, famously, Aaron Hansen has that thing where he complains about whatever Zelda game wasting your time. This is the worst offender I have ever played in a video game of wasting my fucking time.
It was Ocarina of Time that he complained about that.
Oh, well, that game's all about time.
It is.
Presumably. I haven't played it. But yeah, that's gonna. From what I understand, that's a lot of people's like biggest complaint with this game is just how much of it is just wheel spinning. Like, it feels like this was a game where they were like, we need to get a sequel out the door, which, and I'll get into it later, is not the case. But it was like, it feels like they were like, we just need to get a game out the door, put something together. Oh, we don't have enough content. Just stretch it out, make it take as long as possible to get through it, because we have to hit whatever the video game equivalent of feature length is, I fucking guess. Yeah. And that's not the case. But that's what it feels like. It feels like it's the single player, single purchase game equivalent of like trying to eat as many quarters as possible before you get to the end of this game. You know what I mean? Like, that's really, really what it feels like. And what makes that so much worse for me is that I think the gameplay of this is significantly worse. Like, a lot worse.
The controls are worse for sure.
It's tank controls, and in my memory, for some reason, I was remembering the first game having tank controls. It doesn't. It turns out. I looked that up. First game does not have tank controls, so this one feels really out of place, which is crazy because we just played so many Resident Evil games that all have tank controls, and it didn't feel bad there. But for some reason, I think it's because this game asks you to do a lot more, walking wise. Like, when you're playing Resident Evil, there's not a lot of like, you got to dodge this move. There's not a lot of that. In this, it's every combat encounter, you're dodging something. You got to get out of the way of these fucking horses, or like some guy's doing an area effect spell and you got to get out of it. Like, constantly.
I don't want to make it sound like we're saying, oh, Resident Evil does tank controls right. Anytime any game has tank controls, it's here we go.
It's a negative for me personally. But some people really like it.
This one, like, every time that I had the controller, I was like, well, I'm getting hit. I'm not dodging shit. I'm just going to shoot until I get hit. And then it was bad. Yeah. Because I can't fucking deal with the controls. And we were passing the controller back and forth. Mostly you played. I'll be real.
Yeah. I think you played like a collective hour, maybe.
I don't know. I wasn't good at this one. But it's because every time I had the controller, I had to be like, how the fuck do I do anything again? Because all the controls are different.
I handed you the controller one time, and you held it for 30 seconds, and a horse pushed you off a cliff, and then you said, I'm okay. I'm done.
You set me up for failure.
That's I did.
What happened.
I did, because I had already played
past that. And then I handed the controller. I had handed the controller right back. I said, okay, that was my contribution for the day.
But yeah, so obviously it's tank controls again, and this one has a lot of stuff we have to dodge, but then on top of that, like, a lot of the gameplay just doesn't feel good, right? So the first game, one of the things I remember us complaining about was the inventory space was really restrictive, and you just filled up so fast on just bullshit, and then you couldn't have everything that you wanted, which is fair. I know, I mean, it's a survival horror game, the first one not as much as this one, but it's a survival horror game, so having, you know, inventory foibles is just kind of part of that genre. Not my favorite part of that genre, but it's part of it. And this one I think is worse, because this one has you can only hold 20 items, but then on top of that, in combat you can only use however many items that you have equipped. So each piece of armor has like a number of slots that you have to equip stuff to. And that has to include any other weapons you want to switch to, the ammo for that weapon, and all of your like healing items and whatever that isn't a spell. Which does sounds like, oh, that's not that bad, but a lot of the armors that you're going to get have like 5 slots. So those slots are your gun, maybe a second gun, the ammo for those 2 guns, and 1 item. And that's what you're dealing with. And then later in the game, they start introducing these items that are just attached items that give you really good boosts, and you're picking up these belt pouches every now and then that let you add like more stuff on. So by the end of the game, I had 9 slots, and I was able to hold, all of the stuff I needed and a couple of items. And it was finally enough. But then because you're constantly using these belt pouches to increase the inventory on one specific piece of armor, because you can't move them off as far as I could find out, you just end up ignoring all of the later armor that's objectively better. There's one piece of armor that you were saying from a guide that we were looking at that gives you like an extra 100 health, and I was like, but it only has like 6 slots. And I'm like, well, I've got 9. Like I can't play this game with 6 items. Like I'm not going to be able to get anything done with that. Like that will not be enough for me. So I just foregoed that, which actually ended up turned out to be the right choice, by the way, because in the final boss fight, one of the things he does that's really annoying. Apparently, I didn't have to deal with, because the armor I was wearing was immune to paralysis, but the final boss will paralyze you like crazy, and I didn't know until I was looking at the guide for it. So that was pretty cool. Ended up sucking a lot less for me than I think it sucked for a lot of people.
Winning clutch.
But then on top of that, it doesn't do the thing from the first game where you're moving around, but then you hit a button and it does the like freeze time, and then you pick what you're doing, right? In the way of like Vagrant Story or KOTOR or whatever.
Yeah.
In this one, you're aiming and shooting. You're doing basically Resident Evil, but it just doesn't feel as good because the aiming is bad, frankly.
I mean, it's the auto lock thing from before, and you can switch between targets on the fly because, as you said, it doesn't pause time. But like, also, if you're not close enough, you still will miss, and if you try to move while shooting, you'll miss. So you still have to be standing still, kind of.
Yeah. Well,
at least in my experience, I didn't get good at it.
The thing that's really annoying about it is how long it feels like it takes for your character to turn and point at things a lot of the time with their guns or with their spells. You only ever play as Aya. I feel like saying they implies multiple characters, but whatever. Because you'll hit the lock on button, and then depending on what guns it is, because I think there's like a weight stat, and I think that's how fast you end up turning with it. But even the fastest one, even like the 9mm little submachine gun that you start with, it still feels like it takes too long to like whip around and point your gun at people. Like it doesn't have a quick turn, like I feel like every Resident Evil has. So a lot of times you're just kind of like fumbling around trying to get your gun pointed at this guy. And then it does pause when you go into your spell menu, but then you can't aim once you're in there. So if you're like, oh, I want to use pyrokinesis, I want to throw a fireball at this guy, but you happen to be facing the wrong way at the time you hit the button, it's like, okay, well now I have to unpause, turn my character, repause, use the spell. It just feels so clunky. Like it just does not feel good to do. Which is a shame, because like a lot of the spells are cool. Like they have cool effects. It's like if everything just flowed a little bit better, this combat could be as good, if not better, than the first game, where the first game, like you actually had to like use strategy and think about it a lot. And in this one, there's some of that, but it mostly just comes down to like, well, this guy's immune to that, so I have to use this, instead of like using like turn order type stuff and trying to figure out, like normal JRPG type things of like, if I use this, then that'll speed me up, and then I can do this before he can do that. Like, things like that are just that don't exist in this game. We definitely
use spells more in this one than we did in the first one. The first one was like, this is just for healing mostly.
Yeah. This one forces you to use spells a lot more. And I actually think the spells are better than the guns. I think the guns kind of suck shit in this. Until at the end, eventually I've got 100 grenades and I'm just going to use this grenade launcher constant. And that's basically what the last boss fight turns into. And at that point, it's like, okay, well, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm not going to try and throw a fireball at this kaiju. Like, that's not going to work. So at that point, you're just using spells to like buff yourself, and so you don't immediately die. like there's so I feel like there's a lot of potential in the combat, and it just doesn't come together in a way that feels good. Like it never stops feeling clunky. Like it never feels fun to do at any point. You know, you're like, even when you figure it out, because I feel like by about the halfway point, I was like, okay, I get it. Like I understand what I have to do. Like I know what the different spells do. I know what's going on, but it never felt fun. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that every enemy in this game is so fucking annoying. Like every enemy type in this game would be the most annoying enemy type in a different video game.
Right. Yeah.
There's the invisible guys that you can't hit half the time, and then they show up, and then there's the golem versions of them later that just grab you from behind and choke you out and take like 60 health, and it's bullshit. There's the horses that are just constantly charging you. There's the moths that silence you, and you can't really fucking like. Every enemy is just so annoying once you get to dry fields. I guess the first couple that you get introduced, the mimics and the like, when there's like random rats or whatever, like they're fine, whatever. But once you get to like the bigger enemies, they're all fucking the worst. They're so bad.
There's the exploding babies.
The exploding babies is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I didn't know we were playing Dante's Inferno, but here we are. Turns out. It was just really annoying. And then so the physical combat is bad. Like the gameplay is just not fun. And then on top of that, they also throw these puzzles at you that are the most obtuse bullshit of all time. None of it ever feels good. I'm usually pretty good at puzzles in video games. These ones I was genuinely like, how would you ever figure it out? How would you ever know this? The first couple are not terrible. There's the one where you have to like figure out when Wyatt Earp died, and then like put the year that he died as like the code for a thing.
Yeah.
But again, even that one involves walking back and forth across dry field 100 times to figure out. You have to go to the room and figure out what year he died, and then what year he was born, and figure out what the difference is. Like all this shit. You're just walking everywhere. But then eventually you get to the Neo arc, which is the most insane left turn location of the video game. It's you spend the flow of the game is this: you start in a tower and you do Parasite Eve stuff that feels like Parasite Eve and is good to do.
Yeah.
Then you go to dry fields and you waste your time for 6 hours, and then you go to a shelter and you waste your time for 6 hours, and then and both those places are incredibly boring and nothing happens there, and it's all gray and all ugly and all boring. And then all of a sudden you take an elevator down and you are in the ancient Aztec jungle zone.
You sure are.
That makes no sense because it's man-made, so I don't know why they built an ancient Aztec temple in their underground Dyson sphere type shit, but whatever. And the puzzles down there are ridiculous. They're just, I don't know how you would have ever figured it out. It's like, okay, step on this button 6 times and then step on that button and I saw the places that are supposedly giving you the clues for how to do it. Would have never figured it out. Would have never figured it out if you didn't have the guide pulled up. No
idea.
I truly don't understand like what the idea of that was. It just feels like so much of this game is just designed to piss you off.
This is one of those games that had like the booklet on the inside had a call for help line number on there.
I don't think so, but I do know. I mean, it had a strategy guide, so it was probably trying to sell you a fucking strategy guide if I had to guess. But yeah, it's just a real pain in the ass. It's like, and then early on, and some of this was my fault, but early on, like you start going, there's these ammo boxes, right? That you go walk up to, and it gives you like 500 bullets, and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna run out of bullets. I'm doing great. This solves the problem that we had right at the end, because we didn't run ammo until the very end of the first game, and then it was like, oh, this sucks actually. And this one, I was like, for the first little bit until I figured out that you just need to constantly go back and get more ammo. You run out of ammo so fast. It doesn't matter you have 400, 500 of them, or that you have 1,000 of them spread across 2 guns. You will run out of bullets really fast, because every boss takes like 7,000 shots to kill. Like you're taking multiple hundreds of bullets out of your inventory every time a boss pops up.
And some of your just normal enemies take like 3 whole clips.
Yeah. It's just frustrating. It's just you walk into a room and there's 6 of these little bug guys, and you're like, it's not even worth my time to fight these guys. I'm not going to get anything out of it. I'm not going to get enough bounty points to buy anything. I'm not going to get enough experience for this to be worth it. I'm not going to get my MP back for burning them. Like, it is better for me to just run past like half of these encounters once we get down to Aztec Hell Prison or whatever.
You know, at the beginning when I said, kind of going back and forth on which game I liked more, or whatever I said, it occurs to me that I was just thinking of the camera movement at the beginning and the FMVs. Playing the first one didn't make me want to like smash my head onto a rock. This one did, so I think we're gonna definitely say the first one was better.
I'm pretty confident that the first one is a lot better, actually. This one just frustrates the hell out of me, and the story is confusing, convoluted, bad, frankly.
I mean, there's the monsters, and we're like, how did they get here? And then there's like a weird psycho mantis guy.
The Golem 9, yeah.
Yeah, number 9 he's called. And he walks up in a way where when he showed up the first time, we're like, oh boy, this game has a nemesis. But then, like, by the end of the game, he's like, yeah, you fools, I'm gonna get you with my gun. You're like, oh, this guy sucks.
This guy's just a fucking loser. Like, I think he is sort of a nemesis. Like, you do fight him multiple times, but he just sucks. And then he kind of becomes just a regular enemy type at the end of the game. Like, the other golems just like wake up, and you're like, okay, well, now there's 100 of you, so now you just don't feel special.
He's not special.
But yeah, it's like you go to the tower and you figure out that these things are back, and then you track them to the Mojave, and then you're just spending a long time trying to figure out where the things are coming from. And that's the whole, like, the big twist is you meet this guy Madigan, who tells you that he's a SWAT guy, but then it turns out that he's like he's this game's Ada Wong, but just way shittier. Where he's playing both sides against the middle. Like, he actually works for the president. He's the president's like right-hand man. He's Leon, I guess, in 4. And
he's Leon and Ada.
He's Leon and Ada. The perfect combination, you'd think. Turns out not so much. And he has infiltrated this shadow government that is trying to force evolution through mitochondrion bullshit on America, whatever. And so they've created this arc underground to a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit going on. Don't worry about it. So you go back and forth like the whole time, occasionally interacting with this guy, and like, how did you get here? Why do you know this thing? Like, so a lot of it just like doesn't line up, and it's, until you get the whole story. But at the very end, like, he does the stupidest fucking thing I think I've ever. So like, it just doesn't make any sense, right?
So there's a guy standing behind our number 9 nemesis,
Madigan.
wearing exactly. He's wearing exactly what Madigan wears. But he's got a gas mask on.
Well, we know
why is that guy got?
We know it's him because he put the gas mask on before the last time we had seen him.
Was that before?
Yeah, because when you get Eve, they throw gas in through the thing, and he puts the gas mask on then.
Yeah, that's right. But the cut scene, I guess it's not much of a reveal. But she acts like it's a reveal.
I think she's just shocked that he's there.
He takes okay, maybe. It reads like oh, Madigan, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's how it reads. And then he's like, yep, I sure am. And then he shoots her.
Yeah. That's the part that makes no fucking sense. Because he doesn't actually work for, and I don't think we even get a name for that faction, but the people who are making the golems, the shadow government people.
Yeah.
He's not working for them. He's infiltrated them for the president. But then, even though he's already behind number 9 and could just shoot him, he instead goes on a whole James Bond villain speech to Aya, shoots her in the arm, and then turns around and shoots number 9.
Yeah, number 9's like, you stupid girl, we're gonna do the stuff now. And he turns around and he's like, just kidding. Shoots number 9.
And it's like, why? For what conceivable reason did you need to shoot Aya? And it actually takes health off of you. Like, when you then have to go and do the boss fight, and you have to like heal up because it hits like for 50.
I mean, that's just how Kyle Madigan rolls.
He's a
You know what I
fucking
mean?
dumbass. Like, his whole plot line is bad. It just doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. He's not a good
Let me
character.
take a
He's not an
let me
interesting
take a sip of
character.
my Coca-Cola.
He's he's not in most of the game. He shows up in Dryfields and then he disappears, and then you see him one more time and then he disappears. Like, he's not around. He's not an important character. And I think that's another
No.
big thing that I have against this game as compared to the first one, is in the first one you have this cast of characters who you like. They're not great, but you know them.
No, you got
And you like
Daniel
them.
and Maeda and the
Nix and the other guys
fat
at the
chief who disappeared or died or something. I don't remember.
Nah, he was fine. He helped fight Shiva and then was not important for the rest of the game.
He got a coronary or something.
He had one too many donuts. And in this one, like, you have a full cast of people, and some of them I like. I like Pierce. Pierce Carradine, because I assume he's named after the guy who jerked off and died.
Oh, come on now.
And what else did he do? Was he famous for something else?
He was on Kung Fu.
No, he's famous for the jerking off.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just trying to help restore his credibility.
No, it's too late. It's too far. Did you know his family tried to pretend that ninjas did that?
Excuse me?
After it happened, they pretended that ninjas had tracked him down and made it look like that to get revenge on him.
How did we know that's not true?
I guess we don't, but it's not. So
I choose to believe. He's like the end of Stranger Things. I believe.
Oh, Carradine, my Carradine.
He might still be out there, actually.
He's not. He's very much not.
His brother's not. His brother died too.
But no, so I like Pierce.
Lizzie McGuire.
I like Pierce well enough. He's a fine character. You know, he does a couple of things. He's frankly more present than the love interest Madigan is.
He was a love interest?
Yeah. Well, because after so he does the dumb betrayal thing, and then the president of the United States launches like a rail gun at the facility and blows it up, and everyone survives, but he loses a leg in the explosion. And in the cutscene, because he's like, "I'm fine, go away," and then after you go to fight the boss, it cuts back to him laying on the ground with his leg missing, and he's like, "I'm not usually this crazy about a girl," and like, yeah. Oh, and plus the good ending is that they meet up for a date. So like, yeah, he's definitely a love interest.
Okay.
But
yeah,
he just sucks. He sucks so bad, and every other character is just not around, and it doesn't feel like you have a villain for the whole game, because I think it's supposed to be Golem, like number 9, but then the whole time it feels like he's just acting under somebody else's command, and then you never figure out who that is. There's never a bigger guy. There's never a more important character. It's just he gets eaten by the final boss that his company was making, and then you have to fight the final boss, who comes out of nowhere. The final boss is like, it's alluded to and like talked about, but it's not a character. In the first game, it's Eve, who then turns into this monster, or gives birth to this monster, and like it all plays into the plot. It all makes sense. Yeah. And in this one, it's just like, okay, well, this boss doesn't matter. You already fought him twice, so we're just gonna write him off, and then you're gonna fight this guy who has not existed and is not a character and is just a thing to shoot. It's just a bullet sponge for the end of the game. Here you go. Also, it's gonna cry like a baby, because that's what we do at the end of these games, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the first one was a baby, and this one,
yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
It's just so annoying. Like the whole plot of this game is nothing. And I think on top of that, it comes across as boring. And a lot of that is because the locations are so much more boring. Like in the first game,
they are.
You're going around, granted, only in Manhattan, right? Like, but we're going to the Opera House, and we're going to Central Park, and we're going to the Natural History Museum, and like
it is just Manhattan, but it's Manhattan in December, which has such a specific vibe and feel and personality to it that, combined with the survival horror genre, was really special and gave that game sauce that this game was just missing.
Yeah, man. It's just like, because Dryfield's like, it has personality, but it's just you spend so much time there, and then we never do anything with it. There's one character there. There's no like, it's got this like cool Old West vibe, and they have a bunch of like puzzles that have cowboy shit, but there's never like there's not like a cowboy character. You're not doing anything like that. Like it doesn't play into it. It's just like we're just doing Parasite Eve stuff and we're here. Like that, it never becomes a thing. And then you spend way too long there. And then the next facility is just in the next location is just an empty facility full of the same guys you've been fighting and a couple of new ones who suck. It's never. There was never a part where I got somewhere or did something and I was like, this is really cool after the first section. Once we left Acropolis Tower, everything sucked. Like for the rest of the game. Was just not fun.
And Acropolis Tower was so short compared to the rest of the
sections. It's like an hour long. And then you spend at least 6 in dry fields and probably like 8 or 9 in the shelter / Neo arc. You spend for fucking ever in the shelter. But man, it just sucks. None of the bosses really like stick out to me. Nothing is as fun as like we're gonna fight the T-Rex. Nothing is as like you know what I mean. Nothing hits that level. It's like a lot of them are just it's a bigger version of that guy you've been fighting the whole time. It's like there's those horse enemies, the Chargers. Now there's a big one, or hey, there's those little stalker guys that turn invisible. Now there's a big one. Like that's what most of the bosses are until you get to. Golem number 9, I guess, is technically unique, but then they throw a bunch of him at you later. Burner is unique, and that boss fight kind of sucks, but it's not terrible, I guess. Then
it's the boss fight that it seems they put the most work into.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he gets like a whole cutscene.
That's the one in Dryfield, right? At night.
That's the one where if you don't kill it in 3 minutes, it kills the dog.
Yeah. See, that's why.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Fucking no, man. And then there's the glutton, who's the one. He's unique, but he's the one who's like down in the trash pit, and he does big suck, and you put him in the trash compactor. And then there's the 2 final bosses, and they're all unique, and that's cool and all. But for the other 14 hours of this game, you're just fighting the same guys over and over and over and over. And it gets dull. It's just there's no part of this game that there is not a single thing in this game that even approaches the coolness of or like the shock of Eve lighting everyone on fire in the opera house or melting everybody in Central Park or it doesn't get anywhere fucking near Daniel jumping out of the helicopter. There's no moment.
Oh my god. I want a picture of that.
It's cinema.
A poster size in our office studio. I want it put up on the fucking wall. It's on fire. I want it to play. If it could play in a GIF format like one of those Harry Potter paintings, that'd be great.
We'll figure it out. We'll get one of those aura frames and just put a video in there. But yeah, there's nothing that even comes anywhere near that. There's just nothing exciting happens in this entire game. It feels like. And I feel there are parts of it that probably could have been cool if it was just handled differently or it was more fun to play or you weren't so tired of walking through the same rooms over and over and over again. But I don't know, man. There's so much of this game where it's just, we've already said it. And ironically, we're going to be tedious about saying it, but there's so much about this game that's just tedium. It's like, if you want to get the true ending, you have to take Ice to Pierce, but you have to do it 3 times and the game doesn't tell you that. If you want to do this thing, you have to talk to this person 3 times in a row, even though it feels like the conversation's done after the first time. You got to do that, or this person dies. You know what I mean? Like, it's exactly like that. Like, if you're not using a guide the first time you play this game, there's no shot you're gonna even probably stumble into one of those things. It feels like there's no clues. It's just like, we made this obtuse so that you either had to buy the strategy guide or you had to know somebody who had the strategy guide so you could hear about it later. Like it just, none of it feels good. Not a single thing in this game felt good to me personally to play. And it was deeply, deeply frustrating. Which is probably why its reception was not very good at the time. At the time, it ended up with a 79% on Meta, which is, I mean, it's good, but it's not great or anything. It's not as high as the first one. And people pretty much, they liked the battle system because they didn't know better yet. And they didn't mind the plot too much, but they hated the tank controls, the backtracking, the bad puzzles, the boring setting. The music was worse. We didn't talk about that, but yeah, Yoko Shimomura from like Kingdom Hearts did the music for the first game, and it's just some dude on this one who did not get it done. And then they complained that the final boss fight was way too hard, which I actually disagree with. I think the final boss fight is appropriately hard. It's way easier than the boss fight of the first game. So I don't know what that complaint really is. but I feel like
I guess we're just built different.
we're just better, just too cool, too strong.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't really have a ton else to say about it. I think we pretty much covered all the bits.
Here, let me check my notes here. Talked about Coca-Cola. We talked about exploding babies. That basically sums it up.
Oh, I did want to say they introduced this really cool character early on called Rupert, who's your partner, and he's
Yeah.
there for Acropolis Tower.
Mm-hmm.
He gets like stabbed in the arm by Golem number 9, and then is just not in the rest of the video game.
No, it doesn't come with you. It doesn't.
You don't even. I don't think you even talk to him on the phone. Because
You
in this game,
know?
every time you save, you talk to Jody or you talk to Pierce. I don't think he even
Yeah.
answers the fucking phone. He's just gone.
This game has a like pseudo partner AI system where you can go down a stretch and have Madigan walk with you and shoot enemies with you, or have little clone Aya Brea that we didn't talk about.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I guess we should have mentioned
not
that.
not move and then suffocate to death and then give you game over.
Yeah, that was really frustrating. Actually, that really sucked ass.
And you know, you'd think that having your cool LA Force partner tag along with you at least for a mission or two could have been something neat. They didn't do it,
No,
but
they give you Madigan for like a hallway, and you have the
mhm.
dog Flint a couple of times, but I don't think he
Yeah.
fights.
He doesn't attack anything. He barks at things, and enemies ignore him. So it's the same as him not being there.
Basically, but now you just also have a dog barking, which is always makes everything better and less frustrating.
That's right.
Ugh. You ready for some trivia?
Please.
Okay, so the chief of or whatever of the Mist unit, his name is Eric Baldwin, and everyone calls him Hal. In
Okay.
universe, they call him that because he's robotic and doesn't seem to care about shit. So they're calling him that as a joke about him being like the
because
robot
of
from
2001.
from 2001:
Yeah.
Space Odyssey. And then later in the game, when you're reading some of the memos from the people from the shelter, there are also characters called Poole and Bowman, who are the other two main characters apparently of 2001: Space Odyssey. So there's just a lot of references to Space Odyssey in this, which I guess is fitting because all the mitochondria.
There's a lot of mitochondria in space, probably.
I guess 2001 is also kind of about evolution. There's that bit with the monkeys at the beginning, so I guess there is some. I get there is more crossover there than maybe I gave it credit for originally. When you beat the game, you unlock a bunch of new modes. So you beat the game the first time, you unlock replay mode and bounty mode. Replay mode is actually an easier mode.
Nice.
It makes all enemies they're the same, but they do less damage. And it takes less experience for you to get your powers because you have to use your experience to upgrade your parasite powers. And then all items, weapons, and spells that you had in the previous playthrough are buyable in the shop, and you start with 10% of your XP and money from the last run. So it's literally just, hey, you went through it, now you can play the game and not hate yourself as much. But then there's bounty mode, which is the goal is to get as many bounty points as possible. And for that reason, the enemies are harder. They do more damage, and the golems from the end of the game are in the whole game from the jump. So that one kind of sucks. But if you do that, then you can unlock scavenger mode if you get 69,000 experience in the previous run, in which it's even harder, where the items are super rare, and the shops barely sell anything. Aya starts with less health and will never get the same amount of health. But if you do really well in it, then you can beat Golem number 9 early and take his weapon, which is I somehow didn't notice while playing the game, just the gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII. It's just literally Squall's gunblade.
So you're saying that someone out there has done all this?
Yes. Yeah, probably.
Straight to jail. Put him in jail.
And then if you beat that, you unlock Nightmare mode, which is even harder. It's basically and everything is way harder, and you don't really get anything for beating it. So I don't know why you would. I don't know why you would do it, frankly.
Just say you did it.
If you tell me that you did it, I'm not going to be impressed. I'm going to be concerned for you.
I'm concerned now. I'm concerned already.
I'm already concerned. I'm concerned and unhappy. Here's maybe the funniest bit of trivia here. This game was not rushed out the door, but it was dramatically changed kind of last minute. This was always supposed to be the second game in the Parasite Eve series, but it wasn't always supposed to be the second game where you play as Aya. This game, for a very long part of its conception, was a game in which you played as Kyle Madigan.
Yeah, okay, so he is the Leon.
I mean, kind of, yeah. And that's why they changed up the gameplay system so much, is because they were like, well, he's more of an action guy. You know, they made it more of an active running around and shooting, because he wasn't going to have powers. He was going to be just doing gun shit. And like, that's why they had, that's why there's all the like attachments for guns where like now you can shoot grenades and there's a flamethrower and there's the flashbang and the pepper spray. That's why they added all this other shit.
We're on the other side of the country.
Right.
Okay.
Is Madigan was supposed to be sort of the second protagonist, but then they were like, well, everyone likes Aya. Aya was like the guy.
Somebody somewhere said, I think people hate Raiden from Metal Gear. They went, oh no.
Shit. Yeah. So they switched it back. And I also think that's probably why the Eve character is the way that she is. Because it's very weird when you're playing the game as Aya and then you rescue a clone of Aya and then there's just two of you walking around. Like, it's literally the same head. She's shorter, sure, but it's the same head model, just stapled onto a smaller body. If you were Madigan the whole time, that's less weird, because now you just saved this girl and you're like, oh, she's a clone of somebody. And like, we know it's the protagonist from the first game, but he doesn't necessarily know that.
Also, when we were playing the reveal bit for this little girl is a clone of Aya, the cutscene glitched and we didn't see the helmet be take off. It was just suddenly there's a little Aya.
Yeah, it just cut back and she was Aya. It's weird that they named her Eve, right? Because that's the name of the villain from the first game.
That was the villain. So yeah.
Could she not have had a different name?
Were they thinking like because they wanted to according to you, because I wasn't paying attention, but according to you, they were like, we want to evolutionarily restart whatever, and she's the first one of that, so she's Eve, but she's a girl, she can't be Adam, so she's Eve. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Parasite Eve, not Parasite Steve, so it had to be a girl.
Yeah, that's true.
But she's not the first. I know that, because there's definitely parts where you're going through and there's tanks full of failed Eve clones. There's one where she's got like dragon scales, and one where she's just a fetus that didn't ever develop. And like, there's a lot of gross shit like that. The
first that worked, it went, hey, you know what? It all pays forward, because the Resident Evil movies stole that. I'm gonna say.
Hey, so you know, we're all influencing each other, I guess.
Just a circle jerk of influence.
Yeah. So there's 3 different endings you can get in this game. There is bad, normal is what they call it, and then good. There's not a ton of difference between bad and normal from what I understand. I didn't watch the whole thing, but the way that they describe it is like basically the same. So to get the bad ending, you don't save Pierce back in Dryfield.
By feeding him ice.
By feeding him a bunch of ice.
His throat. Yeah.
You don't get his memo and call Jodie to let her know that Baldwin is turned evil.
That's right.
So if that happens, then after you finish the last fight, you and Eve fall down a hole, and then you wake up surrounded by medics, and that's the end of the game. Is the medics like wake you up, and apparently, I guess you're all fucked up. In normal, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but the guy didn't say that you fall down a hole, so maybe you don't.
That definitely could have been worse.
But like, you still end up in the same boat at the end of the day. In the good one, you have to have saved Flint the dog. You have to save Pierce, read the memo, call Jodie. You get to get a teddy bear, which you then give to Flint so that Flint can find the girl. Although you're going to end up finding the girl anyway, so I don't know why you bother with that. You also have to rescue Pierce a second time from a freezer, so he doesn't freeze to death, and save a certain blinded soldier.
He's a dumbass.
And then the result of that is it's all of the same ending from the bad one, basically. But you get a slideshow of what everyone's done afterwards, and it's all positive, for the most part, positive stuff. Yeah. Where Rupert
Pierce got drafted and went to Vietnam.
God, no.
We never saw him again.
Rupert, so Baldwin goes to jail in the good ending because you caught him for like giving shit to a shadow government. So Rupert then takes over Myst. He becomes the new director of Myst. Pierce leaves Mist and goes and works with Maeda from the first game to figure out how to do stuff.
Fun.
Mitochondrion shit, presumably whatever the
Yeah,
third game is about.
mitochondria.
Although the third game's only playable on PSP and Vita, so I don't know if we're gonna get to that one. I don't know if that's
It's
playable
about
anywhere.
mitochondria. We'll buy a Vita. We'll buy a Vita for this.
Maybe. Jody continues working at Mist with Rupert, and they are coming up. They've been given a gag order, so they can't talk about what happened, but they're trying to figure out a way to let everybody know what happened. And then Madigan goes missing. Is basically what it is. Is he escapes because he turns again. He leaves whatever secret agency he's working for, and just vanishes, and so no one's heard from him. And then the last thing it says in the little slideshow, which isn't but should be played alongside the hands up and shout. That's how I was experiencing it in my head.
Of course.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
The last thing it says is that Pierce gives you and Eve tickets to go to the Natural History Museum. Presume I actually don't know if it's the one from the first game. I just assumed it was, but I guess it would be in LA. I don't think she's moving back to New York.
The Triceratops was there,
but we killed the Triceratops.
But maybe they picked up the pieces.
I don't know. It melted. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
It could be the New York one. It doesn't matter. Point is, you go there with her, and it's a really cute FMV where you're hanging out with your sister-daughter clone. And then Madigan shows up. And it's just like, Madigan's okay, and we're a big, happy family, sort of. And that's the ending.
Were we going to talk about how, again, going back to the influence circle jerk, how specifically the sister-daughter clone thing, Resident Evil Requiem, is just literally the same thing?
There's a weird amount of things that are the same between this and Requiem. Like, weirdly high number.
Yeah, there's a bit.
But I would be shocked if any of it was intentional. If I find out that a single person who worked on Requiem has even played Parasite Eve 2, I would be a little surprised.
Resident Evil Requiem is a really good game and really fun to play.
That's
my review of Parasite Eve 2.
Well, Skyler, that's everything I've got. So, with that in mind, and using our patented and unstolen review scoring system, what are you feeling about Parasite Steve 2?
All right, so as we established, I gave the first game a 6 out of 10, which on our scale means okay. You gave it an 8 out of 10, which means great. And it meets in the middle, the averages to good, 7 out of 10. This is going to come in lower, so I know I'm not giving it a 6. I think we're in the 4 to 5 range. 4 means bad. 5 means mediocre. I think this is worse than mediocre. I don't know. I just think, especially this being a direct sequel to the first game, which again had personality and aura to it, and this one, I couldn't keep my eyes open.
To be fair, the first 3 times we played it, you had come over after soccer games and were slightly drunk.
Listen,
it was pretty funny.
There was one time, I'll say this, that we came over and you were like, all right, your time to play. And I had the controller in my hand and I was inebriated to a point that I said, I cannot do this.
And you tried.
I couldn't get out of the room I was in, which I think was outside.
You didn't do great in this game, I'll be honest with you.
This is my most phoned in performance for the channel thus far.
Will we top it? Maybe.
Well, it depends. So the description for mediocre, which is 5, is I didn't care for it much, but it accomplished what it set out to be. Did this accomplish what it set out to be? I don't think it did. So I'm going to give it a 4.5.
4.5. I think that's fair. Yeah, for sure. I think I'm giving it a 5. I had pretty much decided on that, like, almost even before I had finished the last boss fight. Is I was like, this is a functional game, and it plays, and it is it is what it is, and there are things about it that you can point at and you can be like, that's a good idea, but just none of it fucking works. Just none of it feels good. But it's just bleh. You know, it is such a massive step down. But with the exception of a handful of things, I don't think I would necessarily say it's bad. And I think that the number of things that I would say are fully bad are equivalent to the very few handful of things that I would say are genuinely good, like the Acropolis Tower bit. And so I think that does kind of balance it out as just a 5 for me. Because I'm just like, this is a mediocre game. If you played Parasite Eve 1 and you were like, I want more of that, I would not recommend that you play this game. But you could. It's there. I wouldn't tell you not to, but I wouldn't tell you to.
We do have a tiebreaker to figure out, and I think it'll be easy, but we'll see.
Okay.
Because the last game that I gave a 4.5 to, and you gave a 5 to, averaging to a 4.75, was Icewind Dale.
Ooh.
I think this clears Icewind Dale.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page. Yeah. Icewind Dale for me was more frustrating. And yeah.
I feel like somehow Icewind Dale wasted more of our time.
Icewind Dale felt like it did not wish to be played. This game felt like it wanted to be played, but just like wasn't good at it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's what I'm saying.
Therefore, Parasite Eve 2 is nestled snugly above Icewind Dale, below Siphon Filter 2.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Like, I think this is just such a...
When I was looking at the list of all the games we had played so far, and I was thinking, like, where is this going to sit? I was thinking, like, I would put this right under Siphon Filter 2, because Siphon Filter, as memory will serve, I didn't like playing that game, but I do think at the end of the day I was more impressed with some of it than I was here.
I would disagree. I think they're similar. Like I'm not like powerfully disagreeing, but this one, Siphon Filter for me was so generic. This is
more... What about that bit on the train?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was cool.
It was all right. It wasn't bad for sure, but
no, I gave Siphon Filter 2 a 5, so I mean we're not. It's not
a good game. Neither of them are. No. But I feel like if you ask me a year from now things about these two games, I'm going to remember this one more. You know what I mean? Than Siphon Filter.
I'll remember Parasite Eve 1. I can't promise I'm going to remember. Maybe I'll remember the little Aya Brea clone.
Yeah, or that part where Madigan shoots you and you go, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, that was... Madigan shooting us was this game's version of Daniel jumping out of the helicopter, lighting on fire, throwing us the ammo clip.
Yeah, except it wasn't cool at all.
Now I'm looking at that 6 I gave the first one, and I'm like, perhaps I judged you too harshly.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But we can't go back. We never go back.
It's too late. But hey, guys, if you want to tell us what you thought of Parasite Eve, if you played it, or whether or not our conversation has made you lean one way or the other about potentially playing it in the future, I should let you know this is not an easy game to find and play at this point.
No. I was going to say, or if you drunkenly watched your friend play it. That works too.
Yeah, because this is only on PS1 and then it was on PS3, but I'm getting mixed results searching whether or not the PS3 store is even still remotely functional.
Those results were, you asked me if I could look, and I said, I don't know if my PS3 still works, and you asked my friend Christian if he could look, and he said, let me check, and never got back
and then died, I guess. So I don't know if it's still playable on PS3. It's definitely not on 4 or 5. So sort of that or emulation, like it's just a rough one to find at this point. And frankly, I don't know that it's worth the effort, but if you choose to make that effort, tell us all about it in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys think about it or about the franchise as a whole. Maybe watch a Let's Play and let me know. You don't gotta play it. You can subscribe to us on Spotify and YouTube. Those are 2 places we are, and we would love to see you in one, if not both of those places. You can follow the show on Twitter at rsr_pod, or me on Twitter and Blue Sky at DanielJMcG.
Or you can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler8bit.
And until next time, everybody, play more games.
Play more games.
Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back in time where pixels and memories intertwine.